The movie is, Bert.
Thank you.
I was so happy for you. When I saw you at the party, the after party, I hadn't seen the movie yet, but I could feel it. I was just like, damn, like, you did it. You did it. And you did it like, that's just like the pinnacle. That's just something that, not only that, but the movie, here's the best thing I loved about the movie. The movie is based on a story you do called The Machine in your stand-up act. It's one of the greatest stories I've ever heard.
Thank you.
And normally when something is transposed, like a Saturday Night Live sketch to a film, it's like, oh, remember like Night at the Roxbury?
Yeah.
Funny sketch, but the movie was like, okay. But this just went out there, and it was better than your stand-up story.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
The movie is...
God, you heard that right.
As good as your stand-up story is, the movie's better.
Thank you. I think the movie's unexpected. I don't think it's what people expect, which is what you should do in a movie. Is you should make it like make people like whoa, because I think everyone thought I was just going to retell the Machine story,
right? And
then when you start and you see where we're going, I think it makes for a really fun ride. The other thing I think that I'm really proud of is that we made like an action movie.
Yes,
that is fun. That happens to be funny.
And I hadn't seen anything like that since Pineapple Express.
Right, like so just fun. Like a fun
action.
That's
and
a
comedy.
great goddamn movie. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, we didn't. I had no expectations. I read no reviews. I read nothing. I read one review accidentally because I never had my glasses on, and I started reading and it was from Cracked, and it was like 10 hilariously brutal reviews of Bert's movie, but I thought it was like going to be a good one. Yeah. And I started reading that, and then I was like, wait, that's not nice. So that's the only thing I've really read. But no, everyone's liked it, that's seen it. Everything I've ever gotten in person has been great. I'm not really on social media. Like, I'm not on Twitter. Victoria runs my Instagram.
Yeah, me neither.
And so it doesn't behoove me. I talked about it to my therapist about it, and he was saying, he said, let's talk about the truths of what's going on. And he goes, did you have a fun time at the premiere? And I said, it was the best night of my life. It was the best night of my life. He goes, did you have a fun time making the movie? I said, I wouldn't trade those 3 months in Serbia making this movie for any 3 months in my life. It was the funnest time I've ever had. It's the funnest thing I've ever done. I've never wanted to be in movies until then. The premiere was the greatest night of my life. And the next 2 days, 3 days was just blissful. And he said, so good. So because I was upset about the negative review, and then he said, he goes, you got to understand, you got an opportunity to do something that 99.999999% of the humans on this earth will never get to do. Star in their own major motion picture, have it based on them, and then have a premiere where everyone in the city celebrates them. He goes, so understand you're gonna get dirty a little bit. Yeah. So don't take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's right. And then we went back and I read the reviews on camera, and we did a take about me reading them. And then when you read them, you're like, okay, yeah, definitely. Not everyone's going to like what you do. Yes. And I think it was a lot of like real film people, or like more like fantasy people that were hoping to see like Mark in something a little more up their alley.
Oh, yeah, see Mark.
Or see more Mark, more Mark, you know? Like they're Mark fans.
It's a Star Wars nerd that wanted more.
One of their names was Vader 1975. So he is not your father was one of the reviews.
But aren't we at the point in our lives, because we're the same age, where you go, I just feel so much smarter now. Like I know that those reviews don't matter if I were you.
Oh, yeah. No,
and you know the comments don't matter.
You know what happened?
And you know what matters is like, did someone... I went and saw it at Universal. Went right down the street. Yeah. A group of 10 of us. Had a blast. It was full. People were laughing. Yeah. Like that's all that matters.
It's all that matters really is the reality. You can't... You know, I was at the Delta Lounge, and this dude who just did not look like my demographic.
Yeah.
He was the bartender, and he lit up. He's like, dude, I saw your movie. And I was like, shut up. Yeah. And he was like, dude, I loved it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, thanks. Those are what matter. Even like I hung out with a couple of Bucks and like fans, these guys play for the Bucks, and they're fans of mine. I think it's really hard to get people to go to the movie theaters right now. They're like, hey, that's great. When's it coming out? And I was like, it's been out for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, I'll catch it. I'm not this weekend. I was like, well, let's get leaving theaters pretty soon. afternoon, so let's just buy the tickets. That's all I need. But no, but things these days are found differently than they were in the past. Mm-hmm. Careers are different. I mean, you look at, guys like Matt Rife throws up a special and it's got 9.1 million views in 2 months.
Yeah.
On YouTube. He doesn't need any of the streamers, this kid. Yeah. And then you look at when you look at your career.
Yeah.
Look at David, look at myself, look at podcasting. Who would ever think that in a podcast, as a host, I'd make more money than they could ever offer me on a sitcom? Yeah. On a sitcom. Yeah. And so things are just changing. And I think movie theaters are in a transition where these big tentpole things get the views, and then smaller projects like mine, maybe they find their home more on like a Netflix where people go, that's my, I mean, I have a fan base on Netflix I just did my, I think 5th special with them.
Razzle dazzle.
So
incredible. I won't talk about it, but
thank you. But so it's just everything's changing and you're right. You know what's real is all the that you can touch, all the people that you can talk to. It's real. It's very real. And
What do you mean? Twitter and stuff?
Yeah, it's like,
it's not real though.
I look at
Twitter's not real.
No. I look at Twitter the same way I look at a scale. I go, let me see what's going on with that. And then I step on it. I'm like, what the f am I doing? What am I just going to put myself in a bad mood? I know what's going on. I know the reality. I'm
Scale's
overweight.
a good thing. Twitter's not.
Yeah.
Bad analogy, but.
I got on Twitter recently. So Rogan sent me something and I had to have a Twitter account to look at it, and Victoria has all my Twitter information. So there was a thing, Twitter did a reboot when Elon took it over, and if you didn't log in that day, it was going to be hard to log into your Twitter. Yeah. And I didn't log in on purpose. I went, no, I think I'm good. And so I didn't have Twitter. Then Rogan sends me something, and I go, and I'm like, I need a Twitter thing to read it. And then Twitter says to me, like an abusive boyfriend, hey, would you like a new account? And I'm like, well, we can do new accounts. We can get burner accounts and find out what the people that blocked us think of us. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. I'm in. Yeah. I meant to say, oops, I did it again. Because I was listening to Brittany in the background. That was my username. But I didn't have my glasses on. So I said, oops, I did it Asian. And then I realized I misspelled Asian. So I said, oops, I did it ASEAN. And then I outed my burner account on Rogan, and the dude who found "Oops, I did it" Asian put it all on me, and then is just tweeting out horrible shit as if it's me, and I'm like, motherfucker, even when you God damn it, dude, that happens to me. I'm motherfucker.
The bigger you get, the worse it gets.
I can't imagine. You know what I've been thinking about a lot is I got very lucky to have the opportunity to make a movie. Yeah. And then I thought, what about Giovanni Ribisi? Okay. He doesn't have a franchise like Chris Hemsworth.
No, good actor though.
He's just a great actor. Mm-hmm. And there's got to be a part of him that's a regular person also, where he's saying to his agent, can I be a Marvel star? And they're like, you're more you're different. And he's like, well, what the f am I supposed to be doing right now? Yeah. And they're like, well, there's
there's indie stuff.
Yeah, there's some indie stuff. Yeah. You want to do a TV show? And he's like, I'm one of the best actors in this city. Yeah. And I got to go do steroids to get on the big screen? Yeah. That would make me crazy. Because
You're saying if you had the acting chops and you couldn't get work.
If I was a legit actor.
They get work, though. And you also don't know.
He's great in The Offer.
I didn't see that.
The Offer with, it's about.
Oh, Paramount show.
He's so good.
I can't log into Paramount. It's too hard.
It's so
I'm able to figure it out. I'm so old.
Yeah.
It was really funny when we went and saw the movie. I just thought this was funny. We got our seats, and then this woman had her hot dog and her nachos, and she was like, first of all, the woman loved the movie.
Oh, good.
She was an asshole because I sat down and I go, hey, can you move your hot dog and your nachos so my friend can sit here, because we all wanted to sit together. And she just goes, my stuff is there. Like that. And I go, okay. But can you just hold your stuff in your lap so we can all sit together?
Yeah.
And she finally went on for a little bit. She was talking to my friend, and finally I just leaned over. I said, what is the problem? Like that. And the movie's starting.
Yeah.
And she goes, you know what? F you. Don't talk to me like that. And that was it. And then the movie starts, and she loved you.
Oh, hey!
I was like,
this lady turns out not that bad, right? Kind of like this old lady.
She's dying the whole movie.
This old hag.